La, la, la. I can do this crazy stuff right now. There's nobody on here.
They can go back and watch it back.
Uh,
They can go back to the
well,
beginning.
if I'll take it down.
Yeah, but they can go back when they come on and rewind it, watch from the beginning before you take it down.
Karen. Darling, what was you saying a little bit ago? I couldn't understand it. I didn't understand it. Butterfly. Cam and Ricky. What up, y'all? Just love.
What it do? Just love what it do.
Amy.
I heard that all the way in here.
Hey,
I would hear
from
that on YouTube.
Human 2, hello.
Disgusting.
Oh, that was nice. Yes, just love. We fishing. We fishing. The UK. Hello. TJ Cook. What's happening? I know, right? Gigi be with y'all here in a second. She's trying to get everything situated. Y'all was almost running behind. She'll be right with y'all.
What, baby?
Did it rain on y'all today?
Load your horses down.
The UK. Helen, how's the weather over there? TJ Cook. Yeah. Oh, South Kakalaki.
South
Cold and wet.
Kakalaki in the house.
Oh, world. Just love, you need to stop. You need to stop bragging. I knew somebody was going to brag, and you was the bragger. Just love. UK Tracy, hey London. London, London. Woo woo.
London. Do your London accent, babe.
I don't have no London accent though.
Why not?
Um, oh, 40 degrees. Yeah, I thought you was bragging. I thought you was gonna tell me backwoods was crack a lacking. I know you got a raining cats and dogs. Oh my world. Tea. I get Kool-Aid. You said that right, butterfly. I'm talking about it is woo. Say, let me ask y'all something. Did y'all catch Ziggy's channel for the past 2 nights. Yeah, Cam and Ricky, you're right.
It's been on and popping.
Drinking the Kool-Aid.
It's been
At least
on.
it ain't sourdough, right?
Hey, he slipped up a few times though. He did tell us he was from Kentucky growing up. Yeah, I didn't catch that one. That was a whoops. He slipped. That was an accident.
I tell you what.
Got him. Bang bang.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something to say like that over.
Don't ever make an accident on my time.
An East London accent. Oh my world.
Come on, baby, you can do it.
I'm trying to think how they would say it.
Top of the day.
Oh yeah.
Say something that Scrooge would say to little Timmy.
You're right.
Little Timmy, your leg is not broken. Walk.
You're right,
You're
Bishop
not
Don.
getting turkeys for Christmas.
Tennessee Rose.
You're not getting any more money for Christmas.
I tell you what, that clown. Spot a tea? Is that what it be? Spot a tea? Spot a Kool-Aid.
Stop in the Kool-Aid. Somebody stay in the Kool-Aid.
I tell you what, that clown, man, I swear. I thought, I was like, okay, he was cool the first night.
Who was?
Smooth talking. I was like, well, okay,
Bye.
And then bam, that retard comes back in him.
Oh, you can.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, y'all. I didn't mean that. That clown come back in him. I didn't mean that. He done bumped his head again. I'd have lost it on him, Karen. I would have lost it.
Yeah.
I'd have had a complete come
especially
apart on
when
him.
He called her. He said, "Bitches like you, to Ziggy." I would have been like, "What?"
Cam and Ricky, yeah, look at him.
He said that to me one time, and my head flew around on my shoulders, and I come unglued on him. I cussed him out for a good 20 minutes.
Oh yeah. Exactly. You're right. Right out the door, right? We've seen his true colors.
Yeah, I was like, finally, I don't even need to play my tape. Look at there.
Yeah, I
There
tell you
he
what.
is, right there.
The first night he didn't. I mean, he talked like he had common sense. And then the next thing you know, today, last night, he cussed her up and down. MF this here, MF that there. I mean, it was just.
heard him call and ask, and Candace say she wanted to get on live.
Yeah, and he said he didn't call her. He denied calling. It wasn't him.
Calling.
I was like,
Ziggy's like, it's 5 minutes ago. No, it was my friend. He sounds like me. Dude, you ain't got no friends. And you just admitted it.
you right, Backwoods. She was a.
She did good.
I heard her sniffling. I don't know if she was just catching a cold or she was really got upset. But
I hope he did.
I tell you what, I'd like to got my hands on him because I mean, she wasn't doing nothing being polite to that man.
That's how he talks to women.
You know.
That's his normal.
You right, Just Love.
You know that when he talked to me like that. That's his normal speak.
Her, yeah.
Yeah, her.
He was talking about Ziggy.
Yeah, and every other woman on the panel.
I had to get to run that church. I don't know, but
yeah, he was straight out of prison into the church.
Yeah.
Out of the church, right back into prison, y'all. I can't wait to tell you.
I mean,
Mert's falling asleep on my lap. Then I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, Mert was going to sleep, so she tried to put baby to sleep. But wait till tomorrow. That man's got charges. He's got more charges than a credit card's got on it.
Hey, Barb, will you get her and put her in the bed?
Where you been? Why you late,
You go to the
Chrissy?
bathroom or whatever. I'll hold her to the
Oh, I see you up there. Hey, Chrissy.
Tell him I can't do no preaching. I'm about lost my voice.
Yeah, it is. Just loves the night, Mert.
She already out.
She's out like Willie Lump Lump. Y'all know Willie Lump Lump? She's out like Willie Lump Lump. Candace, the bishop's wife. Oh my world. Tennessee Rose. What's happening?
What you can do to get
You
some tea.
right.
What you can do to get some
For
tea.
human too. You're right. You're totally right.
Oh, stretch.
Zen, you're totally right about that too. I mean, I just don't get it, y'all. I don't have the patience. I would go up there and give him the bacon. I'd shake him. I'd shake it till his brain straightened up. That's how bad I really want to do it. Maybe we'll go instead of just love. Maybe we'll start a GoFundMe, get me out of jail, and we'll go up there and just shake him. All of us shake him, get his head right.
I had me some hater trolls today.
Oh yeah,
Tell me how wrong I was. That is mama.
Joanne. Hey, I'm glad you're here. I'll put you in. Yeah, look, backwoods. If you'd have heard him the first night, he was calm, and then today he was like, "I didn't call you."
And we could clearly hear Candace. If you listen to Plunder, she taped it and up the volume. Candace is, I want to go on love. And it was clearly Candace, too. I want to go on love right now. Okay, Candace.
Kath, they are. You're right, Helen. You're the second person that's I've heard say that today.
And then Don said, I'm probably going to prison. And I said, you probably are. Duh. That's what people go to prison for.
Butterfly, you right. Well, get on, babe, so I can get off here.
I can't get, you want to give me that one?
No, you can get on yours.
I can't go live on it. You're already live.
No, that's how I do it. How you think I do it when you're on there?
But it's not going to hear me talking.
Yeah, it will.
You're talking.
I'm going.
on the typing.
I'm going to hang
No,
up.
you can't do it.
Oh, hang on, guys. I'm about to throw all of you. Y'all wanna do that? Y'all wanna go for a ride?
You got to turn the camera around to the TV.
Okay, look. I'm gonna turn the camera around, and all of you go for the ride. Okay? Y'all hang on. Woo!
Hello. You just shut it right in my face. I don't care. All right, guys. Y'all get to look at my handwriting. It's so pretty. You don't mind? Mine needs a charge. You got cord over there? Charge it up.
Hey, I gave it to you.
I'm talking about this. If I unhook it right here,
No,
you're
let
gonna
it
want.
charge up. I'll find it right now.
All right, y'all. I got some haterade earlier about how that.
Bird, did you get that job?
Well, it's the same lady, Lisa Cruz or whatever her last name is. She's forever been a fighter. Every time you ask a question about Rose, she's like, somebody told me one time they think that it's Jeannie or Candace that uses that tag, and I don't know which one of them uses, but it is one of theirs. And anytime you start putting information out, they try to shut you down. But they got on mine, our community board earlier today, her and another girl back and forth telling me how that Nadine was their mom, and they have pictures of the grave. And but well, yeah, I mean the whole world has pictures of Karen and William's grave. You know, we all know that she's dead. Problem is, she died in 2011, and the deed wasn't even signed until 2012. So there's your first problem. But your second problem also is the fact that Don was nowhere near Tennessee in 2012, even when the deed was signed. So, but we could go on and on for days. That's a good job, Afrohuman. I'm glad you took that screenshot because if she's got any sense, she'll go and take that down. But anyways, I found out some more information because Don's made a mistake over there on Ziggy's, and I was kind of waiting for him to do that because I've always wondered who his real stepfather was, and there's not a lot of information on stepdads when you go to tracing them down. But he said that he had lived in Kentucky before the courts made him go to. Um, no, he said the courts made him come to Kentucky and live with his mom and his stepdad before he got old enough to go back to Utah. So me and one of our other listeners here did some research, and we believe we've actually found his real stepfather. that he claims was so mean to him and his real mother. So I'm not going to talk about that tonight because I do want to double, triple, quadruple check, but I am almost positive this is his real mother and stepfather. And he did live there until he was around 11 years old and went to Utah. Um, then it does also make sense for, around 1983, then going to prison, like the sister said. After she had the problems with him, he went to prison for a few years and they didn't have to deal with him. So a lot of that makes sense. But yeah, I thought it was also interesting about him becoming a bishop shortly there in, where was he at? Ogden, Utah, or Weber, Utah. We'll just go over his whole history here. Let me grab everything of his. I'm talking softly, y'all, because I'm losing my voice, and if I get loud, it starts cracking. I'm not usually a big talker, so these last couple of days, I'm talking a lot. But any of y'all are doing research, just for now and unconfirmed, I do believe his mother went by the name Patsy Ann Wells when he was born. And I'm still not saying it's not Patricia Nadine Wells now, but I believe it was Patsy Ann Wells maybe when he was born. And the stepfather, I believe his name was Terry Lee Gabhart, Gabhart of Kentucky. So if y'all guys want to look that up, I'm still looking it up to confirm that it's correct. But everything I've seen so far, and I found this information probably about 2 hours ago, so that's when I was able to listen to her live and catch up. All right.
Yeah, about a kitchen. Tell them you did. I don't know if they heard you about getting trolled.
Yeah, I told him. Afrohina said she took a screenshot of it. I said, good job. Because I'm sure that same lady, that Lisa Cruz lady, has always trolled me over Rose Bly's case. Anytime I've ever asked a question. And she's always wrong, but she'll stick to it.
Well, she ain't never said nothing.
No, she won't say. What can she send me? I mean, I can prove that Karen never had any children. I could prove every year of that lady's life. I mean, I don't know how long they're going to stick to the same freaking story. It's crazy.
To the end.
Yeah.
To the end of the road.
This is when and you guys too, Pam Wells has had several charges for identity theft. She also changes her name, and I don't mean just uses aliases. I mean, there's a difference when someone uses an alias and when they actually change their identities and socials. She does it just as much as all these other ones do it, so I have found a lot of aliases in her name too. Not aliases, a lot of new identities in her name. And plus she's had a lot of marriages and children and things too. But I found it interesting that they got married in 1988 in Florida, and then she went and got a restraining order on him. I'll read that to you guys.
I ain't got it. Kills mine all the time.
I've got one over here. Yeah, the address where he was owner and presiding bishop of the Church of Jesus Christ. It was in December of 99 through February. Was 2642 Jackson Avenue in Ogden, Utah. And I haven't looked up what the church looks like, but I can imagine it's probably just some small little place. But when Pam went and got a restraining order on Don, read you these. It was in 2007. And I also thought this was pretty interesting because even on Ziggy's channel tonight, he tried, when they brought up Rose Blah's case, he tried to say that him and Candace were already together and they had already had their oldest son and they were living together in Arkansas. And since I already knew that was a lie, and I went back to this, and this was dated in 2007, you know, it kind of just cinched that in my head that, you know, he's lying once again to try to protect her from that. And it shows an actual arrest date for him of October 5th of 2006.
You probably could have took that jug,
on
put
this.
a little water in it, and broke it down some. But like that Coke, that's right.
And that he had a public defender.
That's right, that's right.
And the restraining order was given to her, but he was also charged with stolen property and felony breaking and entering.
You like them?
Yeah, I got one on me.
Number 2 right there.
It's so dark in here, I can't hardly see it there.
What is it, love?
I can't see to see just the restraining order part.
Hang on.
The handwritten part. It's so tiny. And I'm getting old. It was on the handwritten part, right?
Huh?
It was on the handwritten part for the restraining order, right? With Pam?
Yeah.
I can't see.
Turn your light on your phone.
Yeah, he had a busy life, that's for sure. Busy criminal life.
Need my glasses.
Look at it and see where you've seen the order of protection, and I'll read the rest of these out of Harris County. All right. Let's see. 1982, Harris County, Texas, felony, second-degree burglary with intent theft. October 1982, possession of marijuana. Harris County, Texas. 1994, evade and arrest, Dallas, Texas. These got the charges. Oh, he's got forgery in 1983, 1983 theft by receiving stolen property, 1983 burglary.
It's not in these here.
1993 they revoked his probation for something. Uh, 1983 theft, 1983 forgery, 1983 theft by receiving stolen goods.
But this part right here, just show them this here, okay?
2001 theft by receiving stolen property. 2001 an Ogden theft. 2001 forgery. 2001 burglary. 2001 theft in Weber, Utah.
Show them right here, okay?
Wait a minute. Hold on one second. Another forgery. Washington, Arkansas felony, Class B burglary. Washington, Arkansas felony, Class C, possession of controlled substance with no prescription. Pled guilty. 1991, Hillsborough, Florida. Battery. Oh. 1994, resisting arrest, Dallas, Texas. 1991, battery, Hillsborough. Then a third-degree felony, a second-degree felony, a third-degree felony, third-degree felony. And those are all looped in together onto one charge. With the forgery. And it's an F2 felony. Yeah, I mean, this group of clowns just look like they just run around and steal your identity and anything that's not tied down. So, basically, that's his one name full of charges. Got me sweating. Let's see. Got another one. We can go through these.
Listen, let's back up for a second, okay?
He's got civil okay.
Show them this here and say, listen, if his mama gave him that land, he would have purchased it for $35,000. Look at that right there.
Well, I know. We
They might not know.
We know what happened. He did purchase
some
it.
people, your naysayer. Show it right there.
No, I mean, I don't know anybody. But... Okay, is there anybody on here right now that still has a doubt that Don's mama did not give him the land? I mean, if she gave him the land, like, would it say that he has to purchase it for $35,000? I mean, does that make sense? First of all, I mean, if we don't, we can go back over the whole Karen William things for everybody who missed it, but just for anybody that's in here that hasn't went over that yet, I'll be glad to go back over that with you guys. Right now, I was just going to cover simply Don's criminal history to let you guys know how, what a liar he is. But this land has never been in the Wells family, okay, guys? Never. Karen Goad was never a Wells. She never gave birth to a Don Wells. She never crossed paths with a Don Wells, okay? Helen died in 2011. William died in 2007. This deed was not even signed over to anyone. No one's name, Carla Trent, none of these guys' name was added till 2012, long after William and Karen were both dead. Okay? So, no, can't. There's two different places that you can look. There is one that will say it's a quick claim deed over to Don, but neither one are factual. They're both just, they're forged. The paperwork is forged. You can track them down right to who did it. And in fact, it's funny because the lady who did it, they're still Facebook friends with the lady who did it. And her middle name's Moon. And another funny thing, I'm not sure if she really died, but in December of 2020, when Dawn took that road trip with the oldest son, it was the same time that it's her death is reported. So, and they were lifelong friends. So that might be a coincidence. Maybe not. I don't really believe in coincidences. And the other lady that was involved, her name was Carla Hyde. And also the same lady, this Carla S. Trent, is the one that did the rogue fake marriage that is between Candace and Dawn right now. So keep that in mind. But I do like the fact that they got enough spunk in them to come over to our page and still try to tell me how Karen is his mother, which I don't know how that would even be possible when he clearly even said out of his own mouth last night he's from Kentucky. And I was really glad of that. You know, I've been looking in Texas, I've been looking in Utah and Arkansas, and I was so thankful he said Texas because it took like 30 minutes after that to find him. Yep, about 30 minutes. I don't really want to make sure I throw it out there right now who they are, but I've found pictures of them, and yep, I'm pretty sure that's who they are. And pretty sure they're both still alive too, just like I said. So, but does everybody in this family use fake names? Yes, they do. Everybody in the family does. And I mean everybody, even the ones we root for every day and we feel sorry for and we love and we like. And that's unfortunate. It really is.
These are court papers, but that 50B ain't in here.
I'll sure let 50B's in all these papers I got over here. Then we have Candace's entire history of police charges and gun charges and resisting arrest and fighting with the police and where she was at in '06. Another big fat lie that he likes to keep telling, how that they were together and they had the first son and all that. I mean, it's a lie. It's just a flat out lie. You know, Lori, Summer as we know Summer, and identity wise, I don't think that Summer that we know Summer, like the baby that we know that was born to Candace, or if one was, I mean, I think that it's all a big spy. I really do. The whole entire family is just, I've never seen so much crap with a family in my entire life. The whole entire family is a nightmare. Well, I'm sorry, Tracy, if you didn't catch all of it before, but I can break it down pretty fast to you, okay? Dawn's original story started out that Summer was outside planting flowers with her grandmother, and then she decided she wanted to go inside and play with her brothers, went downstairs, out the back door, got kidnapped. Okay, their entire story started with lies, right? We now know, looking at the flower garden, there was no flowers planted in the flower garden. We now also know that his mama did not die and leave him that house on Ben Hill. That was all a lie. Um, we also know the oldest boy is not theirs. Could be Don's, but it's definitely not Candace's. We also know that Candace lied that her sister's car was not found at a truck stop and that she was not between Arkansas and Texas when that happened. Everything that they've ever told us has absolutely been a lie, and everything that they continue to tell us has been a lie. And they're never called to the carpet on it, and they're never held to one story. And as far as Rose Marie Bly, I think that he said last night on Ziggy's page, he said they found her sister's car at a gas station, and all he knew of her was that he started to say she was a good mom. He started to say that. He said that I knew she was a very sweet and good hearted person. That's all I knew of her. Me and Candace were together. He said living in Arkansas, and we had already had our first son. That was his words last night. Now, that's a little different than the first story they ever told, but still not the whole truth.
You like Pet Cemetery?
Yeah, everything is a lie is the gist of it. Breaking down the lie and making it understandable for everybody. Well, I mean, it's pretty simple. The land deed was forged. That's simple to tell you guys. The way they got the people's information is because the LDS Church, William and Karen Goad were lifetime members of the LDS Church, and Donald comes from a long line of LDS people. Pam and all them, their relatives, all come from long lines of LDS, blonde haired, blue eyed family members that have multiple wives and multiple names, and that's the way that they do business. And they don't seem to ever really pay for anything, but on paper, they buy and sell tons of things worth hundreds and thousands of dollars. And Don has a sister that's doing the same thing today. And if I had to put money on it where Don found the land or found the deed to be forged, it would be from Sonia Sessions, because Sonia is doing it every day of her life right now. I can pull her land deeds right now, and every single one of her land deeds are just like these.
That's six, sorry.
And so it's only a matter of time. The only person I haven't called yet is Utah, because LDS owns Utah. What would be the point in me calling them?
Yeah.
You know? Oh, I'm sorry, Tracy. It does just get worse. But the good thing about it is now that the truth is coming out and he's stumbling on his own words, time is getting short for him. And I make sure every day that I catch a new thing or I find new facts, I send them to TBI. I follow up with a phone call, and I have finally found someone there that truly understands what's going on.
It'll be like
Um, and they are, putting their crosses on their T's and dotting their I's and tracking him down just as hard as I am too, to find out who are we really dealing with here. Um, and so far he's done multiple felonies, but the one that we really want to know about, where Summer is the one that we still can't quite figure out. But we know that he was lying about that day. When he started out, he told us that he didn't get off even from work early, and we slowly unraveled that story to now it's, well, I might have got off around 3 or 3:30. Well, I already knew he did, because between 4 and 6 they have to be at the church. The guys do, at least. They have an adult prayer meeting at the church from 3 to 6, and they work for the church remodeling the houses. And then they'll go and put a new mortgage value on the house and resell it. So I knew that he was at that church, and I also knew that red truck was from that church. And then I also knew the day before that red truck had been at his house. So, putting two and two together, I knew that they were about 5 minutes from one another when she was at Walgreens talking to him. So, I mean, it's not like we got this huge area that he could have done something in. But I think that now we're dealing more with the fact he could have moved her, or he could have done something else. But hey, vibes. And then we also still don't know, with the corrupt things he's did. Like, if he had never lied about the land, we'd have never spent so much time looking at somebody like Jackie Dobbs, who still looks super shady. I mean, we know he was mad about the land deal, and then he takes off running scared afterwards. But what don't make him look super shady is the fact Don wouldn't look at him. Don won't talk about him. He refuses. Why? Because he don't want you looking at the land deal. But the thing is, Jackie Dobbs isn't the only one that tried to buy land from Don that went bad. Don tried to sell that 3 times, and the same thing happened. So, It didn't happen. Would it have been a perfect chance for somebody to take Summer? Was the timing perfect? Was the money and everything? Did everything about it look like that's what should have happened? Yes. And if anybody, he should have been the one out there screaming, this guy did it. But he wouldn't. He wouldn't even speak of him. And I never understood it until I started looking into it and realizing that the whole land deal was a big crap and lie. And he's still paying for it. And no one had lived in that house before Don. I mean, there was a trailer there in 2001. And you guys can look for yourself. In 2001, there was a mobile home there. And the value of that mobile home back then was about $6,000. And I'm pretty sure it may have burnt up because of the damage that I can see on the house he's living in now. So I don't know anybody in that fire department, but there used to be another fire department really close to there, and I think it was called Beach Creek Fire Department. But it's no more. It was a volunteer fire department, so they're no longer active. And I was hoping maybe they would have records of a fire there. But in 2001, that wasn't called Ben Hill Lane. It was in 2000. It was up for sale, and it was called 000 to be determined Ben Hill. So they had not put addresses on the houses, or I mean, on the street yet, and decided what addresses it was going to be. So that was the problem then. So to find records for what happened before, I don't know. But yeah, is Jackie Dobbs the creepiest guy of the year award? Probably. I mean, I would have been jumping up and down swearing. And he would have been too, had he had not made a bad land deal with him and know that that would draw attention to it. And the church done told him, you better say your mama had left you that land over there. And he knew he didn't want to draw attention to it. He would have been too, jumping up and down saying, yeah, this guy must have did it. He's mad at me. I owed him $11,500. And he must have took my daughter. He was right there where he could see her. She'd probably come to pet his dog. He was living in the back of his truck. His wife's divorced him, shaves his head, gets a new phone, takes off leaving town wide open. The very week my daughter is gone, he leaves town. Absolutely. Who would have not called that dude out? But he couldn't. I mean, if the church is sitting there telling you what you better do, I guess that's what you better do. After her grandpa died, what grandpa? Her grandpa's still alive. And if you're talking about her grandpa's in kin on the Bly side, absolutely not. Those guys, that man, no. Once Candace was removed from that home, she never had anything to do with her father again in life. I think Rose seen him once or twice in her life before he passed away. Jeannie might have seen him once. As far as I know, I don't even know of any of them. I know Candace for sure didn't even go to the funeral. And as far as having money, that man lived in a little camper about the size of Grandis's is, even when he was raising those three girls, and it was disgusting. So, no, that didn't happen. And I do have some more information about the shaved head situation, you guys, and it does bring some sorrow to me, and it brings some more complicatedness to the case, but it brings some more understanding to why stores and businesses in the area are not wanting to be involved in this case. And I really didn't have any idea. I did notice some weird things about their Facebooks and people they were friends with for so many years, things they were calling certain people that they had been friends with for many years, and what a circle they were, and certain people that were called mama, certain people that were called daddy, And I would just put it like this: the race that they were, and how close they were, and how certain people kept Facebooks for everyone, no matter if you lost 50 of them, they kept 50 of them. But I do know now that yes, it is part of a group, but it is part of your membership, and that means you are a part of this group, and they don't delete them. They keep them, and they're there, every one of them. A couple of them has privated them now, so I assume they understand that they've been recorded, and I know and I'm aware of what group they're a part of. But I understand now why so many people don't want to be involved. I often used to say, why in the world would a store not want to put up a picture of a 5-year-old little girl? Who would not want to be involved in finding this little 5-year-old little girl? And I couldn't for the life of me figure out, why wouldn't you want to be involved? Why, if they were having a prayer vigil, who would shut it down? Who would, and then now I know. I mean, I understand it now. And it's ugly. It's ugly that we live in a world like this, but I can understand it because it does exist. Not quite that, Bama girl, but really, really close. Really, really close. Something that you would have thought been gone a long time ago. At least I did. I didn't think it was still around. It's amazing. But yeah, if you go look at their Facebook, and then you go look at Pam's, and then you go see some of these people, I can name some. Yeah, I can name some names, and you can go look at theirs, and they'll keep. Like, you can go over to Richard Riley's, and the old man Richard Riley, the first husband, well, one of her husbands, and then there's a lady named Trisha something, and then the Sidney McWilliams lady from Arkansas. If you look at her, or this Clifton guy that they call Uncle, yeah, there you go. You go look at some of their pages, and you'll look at the fact they keep every Facebook, and they keep them in order. And if you go to jail, come out, whatever, you make a new Facebook, they will keep it there. And I could not for the life of me figure out. I mean, I seen that they were all white, and then the other night when they were having that prayer vigil, and then it got canceled, I was like, what's up with that? They can't, the cops come shut that down. Then I was hearing, well, the stores were afraid to put up the letters for the vigil, and I was like, well, what's up with that? So the more questions I asked, and I was going around and around, then they started saying, well, you didn't notice the shaving of the back of the head, and the coloring and all that. And I said, no. Well, I mean, I noticed it, but what is that? I mean, what is it? They said, well, go Google it. So I started Googling it, and then the calling daddy and mama, I didn't know leaders got called mama and daddy and stuff like that. Well, hell, I don't. Look, I'm native. Do you think I know much about the clan? I don't. Anyways, I had no idea. So yeah, I guess that's why it's uglier than what I thought in the area. I don't know. I got a lot to learn in that area, so I'm gonna have to look up some more information on it. I didn't, honestly, I didn't think it was still around. I really didn't. I did not even think it was a real thing. I thought that it was just something people said when a couple of people come marching around with an old Confederate flag. They say, "Oh yeah, that's the Klan," and there's like 5 of them. Well, they're friends with a lot more than 5 on Facebook, and it's the same 5 every time you go to somebody else's Facebook. It's the same ones, and it's just a circle. And they make sure they re-add them every time they get a new Facebook. They go re-add the same ones, same ones, same ones. And a couple of times I started kids' accounts, and they were putting them on there. And I was like, man, these are not kin, folks. I mean, wow, what can they have in common with these people? Yeah, well, there you go. Here's your sign. But yeah, the Cindy Moon McWilliams lady, everybody called her Mama, and she kept everybody's and her old Facebooks, all everybody's names and old Facebooks and all. So she was like a records keeper. And then there's a guy, and he always puts Van in front of his name. if you look for him. And they call him Daddy. In fact, Candace calls him Daddy, and Pamela Lent calls him Daddy, which is Pamela's daughter. And I thought that was the weirdest damn thing. So Pamela Wells' daughter and Candace Bly calls the same guy Daddy. So I thought that was the weirdest thing. How am I going to figure this out? And it was the night before last when I seen it. And it had been like 6 years ago when it happened, but it was still there. So I was trying to figure out for the life of me, how do you, two girls that are, one's the mother, Pam's daughter, and then one is Don's new wife, are calling the same guy Daddy. And I thought drugs. And like I told y'all the other night, I mean, it looked like maybe it's some kind of drug. You know, they're all talking about smoking weed and stuff. Maybe it's that. I think I was completely wrong on that one.
Yeah, we're going to begin with them already today. Yeah, I guess my pants.
Yeah.
Hey, you gotta have a go bag just in case.
Yeah, I don't know. They say that's what they're doing up there, that it's a sign, the coloring of the hair and the shaving the backs of their heads up. So I don't know. It's all strange to me. I never seen stuff like this before. I'm gonna have to look into it as far as signs and stuff. But I thought it was just maybe a huge drug trafficking ring, but then I heard televisual stuff and saying that that's why it was canceled. That's why the stores were all upset and taking the signs down. It's got to be one of the two, because it doesn't make any sense that it's these same people, the same big group of people that shouldn't have any connection with one another, but somehow they do. So, and have for years. I mean, these people have been in each other's lives, gosh, since the 80s. All of them since the 80s. You're right, Amy from Texas. I agree with you. And it could be that. It could be that. I'm not, and I don't, and like I said, I'm not sure what. I'm just going by what they're saying. Because it don't make sense. But I've seen the other kids, mothers doing the same thing to other blonde-headed kids. I mean, their heads are shaved in the back too and colored pink and purple. And, oh, yeah, I know what you're saying. It just seems it's got to be something. I don't know how we're going to figure out exactly what it is, but the connection lies in this group of Facebook friends. There's no way these people can be friends for this many years and keep this connection. And what is the signal you're sending when you dye their head and shave them? What is the connection to the LDS church? Because once again, like I said, there is a church in Texas that this guy, that Riley guy that Pam had children with, he also keeps a roster of people's Facebooks, and it's called the Community Church of LDS, and he has all these same people all the way back from when they've known each other, like I said, from the 80s. He's got every one of them listed and every Facebook they've ever had listed. And he hasn't got rid of any of them, even though him and Pam's went on with their lives. You know, he's got somebody else, more kids. She's got somebody else and more kids. It's still the same group of people, all still together on his pages too. You know, the weird people that you see on Dawn and them's old Facebooks and new Facebooks and Candace's too. They're the same going back all the way through their lives. Those same people are there. If you go to Texas and look, if you go to the ones in Arkansas and look, if you go to the ones in Utah and look, they're all connected together and they're all friends with the same people. It'd be like you going over it, working right around here. Oh, it's definitely LDS. I mean, I know that The only way he gets work is when that church gives him work. Because every deed that I pull through that preacher up there when he buys another $500,000 property, the people who did the work on it, it's the same restoration people every time. I mean, it's all connected together. They're doing the work, they're buying the houses. It's the new people that come in on the deeds that join the church. And there are couples that sit in the church. I mean, that's how they're making their money. They're bringing people in to join the church to boost their numbers in the church. They're giving you a place to live. They're giving you a job. I probably am, Helen. I hold my breath. They're giving you a place to live. And they're giving you a job. You work for them. Then you got to pay them for your mortgage, and you got to pay them for anything else you take out a loan for. And they're probably taking money out of your check to say that's part of your tithes. And truthfully, you'll never really own your land. They charging you like 3 or 4 times what it's worth. Like I said, that little house over there, Ben Hill, it was worth $6,000. Now it's $35,000. And he got it, what, 2014? I don't know what kind of interest they'll charge him, but I have a feeling he'll never pay it off. I haven't checked that yet, but one minute he'll say, I know that he's supposed to have at least a contractor's license because they don't cover his workers' comp insurance. And I also know on all the improvements he's done on that house, he's yet to get the first permit. So technically, if you call downtown at Hawkins County, they can make him tear it all the way down and start all the way over with permits. Well, thank you, Amy. But I didn't do that either because I'm not really interested in his permit or his what he don't have, that the fact that he's not doing anything legal. I'm more interested in We're a Summer because he's definitely not interested in that. And if you have a church of only 200 people, but yet you're fixing to spend $1.9 million to upgrade your church, and you announced that last week, and you've spent $1 million personal money as the pastor of that church in 6 months on 2 properties, just 2 properties. He bought one property for $600,000. He bought another property for $400,000. So that's $1 million that pastor spent on his own, and he only has 200 members. That don't mean 200 people go there. That means he has 200 members on a good day if they all showed up. And you tell me that he can come up with $3 million in Hawkins County, Tennessee. Now come on, guys. They're selling something. Or he's selling lies. What he's selling is equity. He's showing that Don's house is worth $35,000, and those houses over there that he's buying are worth millions of dollars. But they're not.
Babe, let me see your phone.
I mean, y'all want to look at one of them? We can do that. We can break one down all the way down. We'll pull one up by the address, and let's go look at the address on it and pull up the tax value and look at what he's saying it's worth, because we did this before. Remember, it was triple. Everything he buys is worth triple now because they went in and renovated it, Who does the renovations, though? Don. Because why? That's his people. Don moved there in 2014, yeah. And that was not Don's mother. Karen died in 2011. Karen Goad was never Don's mother, though. That's a lie. And William, her husband, had died in 2007. They changed the deed to that home in 2012 and added that Carla Trent lady's name to it. But 2012, both Karen and William were dead. But Karen was never a Wells. That's false. That's a lie. Karen had never even met a Wells. That's just something people told people. As far as a divorce paper where Karen was married to a Kelly or something, maybe. I mean, I don't know. It's not my business. I'm not into the business of digging everybody's dirt up. I mean, if she was or not, that's her business. But I tell you one thing, she wasn't. She was never a Wells, and she didn't have a youngin' named Don. I promise you that. And she was dead long before Don Wells ever come up there, and Don Wells never took care of a soul, including his own self. He can't even take care of wiping his own ass, much less did he ever wipe somebody else's. So he needs to tell that lie to somebody else. The only thing that Karen ever did wrong was going up there to the LDS church and giving them her social security number. That's where she made her mistake. But that's the only mistake she ever made. And the audacity of people to come on my page over there and still continue to spew that crap out of their mouth over there, it don't make no sense to me. And that Lisa lady, I swear she's done it, y'all. Ever since Rose Bly has been missing, she continues to do that same shit. And if it's not Jeannie or Candace, I probably will just go in and pucker up and start kissing every ass that wants to put their butt in my face, because it's got to be one of them. One of them that thinks that one of us, we're just going to back down because they say something. And then I say, well, send me the paperwork, because I've already seen. Oh, you're going to tell me that Karen was 16 other names. I know you're going to tell me that. Hey, Karen, I'll go ahead and bite. She was 16 other names. I'll take it. Maybe she was. All I want you to do is show me where she ever had Don Wells for a youngin'. Or show me where she was in Tennessee and could have signed something. Because I see the date on that deed. It's 2012. And I know who Carla Trent is. I also know who she ain't. And I also know Don Wells wasn't in no Tennessee. Now, was he on paper? Yes. And I call that chasing ghost. And I could chase ghost. That's not a problem. That's easy to do. And I also know a lie when I see one. And that's a lie. And I'll go you one better than that. I'd almost go to bet you that William and Karen never stepped foot on Ben Hill Lane. Which I want to go on that one? What my research actually shows is that when Karen's father, who was a genealogist for the LDS Church in Utah, meaning he studied, the history of the LDS and he traced the bloodline, he did for 5 years. And Karen, he came to Tennessee for 5 years. And he did live in a trailer, I know. So he could have possibly lived in a trailer on that land. And after William died, she could have lived in a trailer with her father for 5 years. And that is possible that happened. That would be the only way she ever stepped foot in Ben Hill, if that happened. But he was retired from the railroad company, and so I know all about his history, too. It just, the thing is, the funny thing about that, too, is when he died, I wonder where all those records went, He had traced everybody's background. He used to actually help anybody that would ask a question on ancestry or anything. He would email back. He'd be the one that would have the answers on what family they came from and everything. Yeah, after him, and I've heard the same rumor. I've also heard that, I've had somebody send me a picture that looks a lot like her that somebody uses on the internet. And I also know who that person is on the internet using that tag name. And I think it's disgusting because I know who the person is that uses it. It's somebody that I think had something to do with killing her, and she's a female. So you might be real surprised at who's using that picture that looks a lot like Rose. And I think it is Rose's picture. But just think how long it's been since Rose has been missing. Rose wouldn't look the same now. You know that?
I heard she changed her name and her identity. Did you hear that?
Oh, they make all kinds of lies about Rose. Trust me, if Rose was alive, she'd be with her kids. And her husband would have never got him. And Jeannie never would have got her husband. And Jeannie never would have been raising her youngest. Trust and believe that. Because all Rose ever wanted to be was a mama. And all Rose ever wanted Candace to do was straighten up, quit doing drugs, and quit beating her youngest. And that's the truth of that situation. And anybody that knew him will tell y'all that. Who do y'all think Christopher Marcos is kin to? I just want to ask y'all that since the Marcos name is coming up. Who do y'all think Chris Marcos is kin to? Nope. Guess again. Nope. Oh, what a tangled web they weave. He's actually kin to Don Wells. Yep, Don Wells. See, they do so much line and they do so much changing names and everything else. I don't even know if they can keep it together. Chris Marcos is a sex offender that they had living up there with Grandma for a while, and he is actually kin to Don Wells. He's married now with a baby of his own, and good Lord knows it's a little girl too. So it's pretty bad. It's the wheel that never quits turning. And I'm telling y'all, when I look at his son, Wesley the Third, Don Wesley Wells the Third's history, this kid, it's not a one-time thing, you guys. This boy in 3 different states now, 3 states, I have found where he has broke into people's houses, burglarized it, and sexually assaulted children while they slept. Now, if he does that and gets caught in 3 states, can you imagine how many times he didn't get caught, or a parent didn't press charges, or didn't do anything to this boy? And then where does it start at? Where did he get this from? Don claims in 98 when he went to prison for 4.5 years, he was so upset because he was going to have to leave his children. But what was really going on? I've heard him make stupid comments like that he knew his daughter was raped on her birthday and she didn't make a big deal out of it. She just went on with her life. I thought that you could make stupid comments, but I didn't think that you would make that stupid of a comment, or the things that we're finding out now. They're disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. Yeah, I think you're right. I think the only show from now on that should take Don on is Jerry Springer. And I think the behavioral panel needs to go back in the backwoods with the good old boys and stay back there somewhere, because they have no idea what they're doing. No idea. I don't think they would know a lie from. Never mind. I'll be nice. We have found information on John Wesley, him using John Wesley Miller. I've seen it. I've seen where he tried to do an appeal too, Karen. And you can email it to me if you want to, and I'll post it for you.
You posted that.
I didn't post his mugshot on. I probably did.
Just now you posted something.
What? I did? I didn't post nothing.
I did. You did.
Everyone please put a 1. For what?
41 people. 41 people here.
You should say everybody put a thumbs up. I think that's what he meant to say. Everybody put a thumbs up, maybe. Well, I don't know what the 1's for. It got me confused. Oh, you're counting. Oh, ain't nobody gonna talk. That's okay if they just listen. You didn't watch the Afro-Human. You didn't watch them tell us already about the body language? No, the behavioral panel already did their analysis. And that means they had already watched the Dr. Phil tape and that everything was going to be fine. See? No one thinks he's lying. because they're not going to come out and say, oh, Don's telling the truth. Why, after Dr. Phil caught him in a bunch of lie, for sure they sat there and waited for him to finish taping and said, oh, yeah, he's fine, but maybe Candace might be hiding a little something, I mean, that's exactly what happened. It was all a big joke. These guys, man. But he said it right at first. When he first said that unless this guy is like a lifelong liar and he is just, all he does is lie, then we really can't tell. It's true. Don's baseline is a lie. So how can you really tell a difference? Because his entire life is a lie. I mean, when somebody made the comment that when he was a kid, living in Kentucky with a stepfather, that his stepfather was really mean to him, and that Don had a hard time remembering what his last name was, that he didn't know what to write down, that he would forget whether or not to write Wells. Now, they said Lawson. Now, I believe they said that because they're trying to imply that he is kin to Lawson, and that's not really the case. There is some kin with Lawson's second wife, which they're divorced. But I do believe that he did have a hard time knowing what his last name was because for a long time his dad used the last name Miller. Now, what name was he really born with? We don't know yet. I'm still trying to find out. Mm-hmm. Mm. That smelled good at first, and then
2 times I've washed this detergent and fabrics off it, and they stink.
mm-hmm.
Twice.
At first it smelled
And
good, and
even
then it
my
don't
clothes
smell
don't
good.
stink.
No.
That's a house coat.
Did you
that
try
hardly
baking
ever
soda or
wears.
something?
It's like, I don't know if there's something in the
Sour
washing
or
machine
something?
filter or whatever.
Yeah, it smells sour.
Oh,
My mom's not happy about the smell of our laundry right now. What do y'all think we should do? Do y'all think we should write a letter to Dr. Phil and the behavioral panel? I mean, I made a comment on there. I showed y'all what comment I made, but what's the odds they're going to read it? It would take all of us writing a letter to them and saying, look, this is how bad you got it. It's not even true that his mom died and gave him that land. She didn't die of Mercer. This is who she is. This is how he's lived his life. This is his wife. This is how long he's been married. Blah, 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 blah. That's how I am, Mock. I mean, it feels like it would be a waste of my time. I spend enough time every day going through what I have, triple checking it, and then sending it to the TBI, and then getting on the phone with them and explaining it for 2 hours, and then I get on here with you guys usually and explain it for 2 hours, and then by then I'm exhausted and I pass out in the bed. We are not what, David? What'd you say? You're crazy. You're a nut.
I'm from West Virginia, me, your kissing cousins.
You're stupid. Oh yeah, Don's dad. Don's dad is okay. I'm gonna tell you first of all. Okay, Don Wesley Jr.'s information, if you want his real information, is hid under 83-year-old Donald Wesley Wells. I think it says Jr., not the third. It says Donald Wesley Wells Jr., but it says 83 years old and it gives his birthday. I don't have it right here in front of me. Anyway, it's hid under that. So, and then Don's dad, 83-year-old, the one in Roy, Utah, usually comes up Don L. Wells. Now, you always have to remember each one will have two, right? You're going to have the real one, and then you're going to have the one they used for the deed, the fraud one, because on that one they had to show like going to Tennessee and going to Utah and having to show references and stuff like that to make their history look a little better. So they're at least going to have those two. And that doesn't bring in their aliases and their fake names that they've used and false identities. And so you're always going to have just those first two. And one's going to be the factual information and one's going to be go along with the deed stuff that we know about. So you're going to have those first two, first of all, for just the dad. Then we also know that he used Miller too, the father. I don't know if y'all know that too, but the father also used Miller. So you got to pull that one too. And then I ain't gonna tell y'all to do this, but by pulling the stepchildren stuff, and you can really trace down a little bit more of who they are, but I wouldn't really do that right now. It doesn't really pertain to what we're doing, so doing one on his dad, maybe his early life, I'll do that for you guys if you want me to do that. Would that help y'all? Like maybe to understand how he ended up this way, like showing his dad's charges and what names he went by, and then maybe like the years his real mom and dad were married before everything fell apart, and she met the guy in Kentucky. Would that help? Oh, y'all made a fire? I have an electric fireplace. Okay, Afro-human, I'll do that. Up the ladder backwards. Yeah. Okay. Well, I can do that. I done worked his life. I do it. I just did it year by year by year where he lived at and where he was at. So it's easier just to put ads information on there too, where he was at and stuff. So that won't be a problem. The part where I start having a hard time or don't want to share information is more with the sisters when they came in and all that. And then when things changed with their stepmom and stuff. So I'll do his early life and all. And when he started getting in trouble and stuff. Well, Don's bloodline is LDS, so technically he's in it to win it. He's in it no matter what. No matter what he does, he gets to keep coming back. And then Pam Wells, man, wow. She's a trip. She's a busy woman too. No, Don. When Don got in trouble, he used John W. Miller in Texas. Talk about Pam. Pam. Let's talk about Pam. Here she goes. All right. Well, Pam is actually, I believe, 68 years old. And a short list of some of her names she used early in life. Pamela Ann Shavers, Chavers. Pamela Gail, Catlin. Catlin. And Pamela Ann Wells. And they got married in 1988 in Florida to Don Wells. Then she had Margie Ward and Don Jr. Margie Ward in 1990, and Don Jr. was not on here on my other paper. Then she also married a Kevin Lent, and she also married a Richard Riley. Richard Riley is the other one that I told y'all keeps a long list of everybody that's ever been in his life. And he's another LDS too. Then she has some sisters, a Brandy Riley and another girl. And then on the Lent side, one of her daughters' name is Pam Lent. The one that married Kevin Lent is a Pam Lent. She still follows her a lot on Facebook and visits her in person too. And then Pam has grandparents. I believe they're both deceased now. I wrote them names down too. But she wrote that her maiden name was Schaefer and spelled it Shaffer, but I got that it was Shavers, Chavers. And I think that was just her way of throwing us off, not telling us what it really was on Facebook. Because on the actual records, it's spelled Chavers for her real maiden name. And when they first got married, they lived in Pensacola, Florida. And after that, she seems like she moved just about everywhere that Dawn moved, but she got lots of charges. Um, Mostly smoking dope and can't drive. And then this Valkenberg person is another one that calls her mom and calls him dad. But another story I was going to tell you about. In 2015 is when Pam decided to go to Utah. To me, it appears that she was in Tennessee. No, I'm not sure, but I do know that it is one of her daughters and Chris Clifton, who is on all of their Facebook books as friends, on Dawn's, on Candace's, and on Pam's as a friend. And him and Pamela Lent is in a car trip, if you look on Pam Lent's Facebook page, taking Pam to Utah. And I know they go through Missouri and they go into Utah to take Pam to Utah to live or to start living there. And I thought that that was pretty interesting because the timing, you know, and when I knew Dawn had come already there, and I think that he sent her home, and it was like that's when maybe Candace could start coming in. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew Candace hadn't got there yet because his Facebook said that she hadn't, and that she was gonna come in the van and bring the kids, and then the van had broken down. I don't know if y'all remember me telling y'all that, but it shows the whole trip and them taking her to Utah, and it's prior to him letting Candace come up to Tennessee. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So we found that today. Let's see what Pam's been charged with. There was a lot of marijuana charges and can't drive charges, basically. Oh, one interesting thing about Pam in, what year was that? 2003. She got a lawsuit filed against her in um, Kingsport, Tennessee. She never lived there, odd one. That's just on paper. It's just a ghost trail. That house has been abandoned long before that. But she did live on Main Street in Kingsport, Tennessee in '03. And from what I hear, Don lived there too in '03 for a brief time. And it was a rental house. And it's a two-person rental house. And they owed back rent or something for like $5,000. And this was right after they met the guy that I told you about that was president over the youth group at the LDS church. They had met him, and I guess he found them this rent house, but they got behind on like $5,000. So there is a lawsuit against them um, at that address on Main Street in Kingsport. So she was physically there at that address. So that's true. Um, she can be tracked there in '03. But yeah, Beach Creek, I seen that too, but she wasn't physically there and never got any mail there. So they just moved her to that Beach Creek. I think because it was so close to that address to make him look like that he was there. And because it was abandoned, they could just use that address. Just like those old stage road addresses that are abandoned that they use. Yeah, in like 99 and all of her regular charges have just been marijuana and driving. I don't have any energy for their shenanigans. That's why I get mad so easily when I just snap. Because I don't have time for the drama and the games that some people want to play. Yeah, could you not, Grandma Butterfly, did you hear him stuttering when he realized he had made a couple of mistakes? It does feel like gypsies to me, too. The gypsies treat their kids good. But, okay, guys, if we know that in 1997 is when I think the trailer was bought on Ben Hill Drive, because it was worth $23,000 then. And then in 2002, when it was sold then, it was only worth $6,500, but they say it was sold with a trailer then. It says a mobile home. It says a 780 square foot mobile home. So how can we figure out if what happened to that mobile home? Or how can we figure out if there was a fire there or what happened between 97 and 2002 that the value went from $23,000 to $6,500? So we could really figure out who was there. Because none of these people were actually there that we're getting names of. But if we could find out who was really there, physically there, I mean, they could say, hey, no, because this is what happened to my trailer that was there. Check that link Karen posted, babe. I can't hit it or I'll go out.
We're supposed to.
Yeah, it went from 1997, it went from value $23,597 down to, in 2002, the value was $6,500. And both times it had a 780 square foot mobile home on it. So my question is, what happened to that mobile home that it lost that much of a value? Did it burn, or what happened to it that it went that far down? It's on the page right there. Karen posted it. Just click on it. I'll tell you, my biggest question, guys, was when the bad land deal went on, when JD bought the land from Don on June 7th, right? It was $11,500. And on the internet, it says that the land deal went through, right? Right. So then we know that the realtor gets some, and we know that the closing agent and all that, they all get some, right? And then, oh, it's a preview of Dr. Phil. Y'all go watch it for a second. I'll shut up. Play it, man. So I can see it. You go, Karen. That's my girl. I want to hear it too.
Yeah, you better.
Yeah, Karen. Thanks a lot. We appreciate it.
Just a short clip. Did I say?
Did anybody catch when they saying it's going to air?
Polish and turn lipstick on a pig. Helen's hilarious, man. She kills me.
November, so I'm told.
November what?
So,
Oh. Oh, I hope she does it before Thanksgiving. I like my Thanksgiving. Well, what could have happened, I guess, if the trailer got burnt up or had to take it off the land, I think that's what's going to happen too, Just Love. I think that he is going to end up like getting everybody to believe him. And like she don't even see it coming. Like he is just going to hang her out to dry. It doesn't matter if he stands there and defends her and says, I don't think she did anything. What good is that going to do? Because he said all along he wasn't there, right? So that's going to leave Grandis. And Grandis, I mean, if Grandis is your only person in court to say, I was there and she didn't do anything, I doubt that's going to happen. Fat chance, first time Grandis thinks she's getting thrown under the bus. She's selling you out, son, because she don't love nobody. Who is that talking? He says, stop interrogating me. Oh, Lord, he's something else, boy. That Dondus. That Dondus is something. Yes, in that religion, we are the only ones.
not a tear.
No, he can't shed a tear. They could fake a tear, though. I've heard her fake hyperventilate. It was amazing. I didn't even know women could fake hyperventilate. That was cool. Oh, they're talking about Candace. Yep, they're going to sell Candace right on down the river by herself. Well, she had motive, means, and opportunity, too, and she has no alibi. So, yeah, technically, they got every reason in the world to arrest and prosecute her right now. I don't know what's saving her soul. Nothing. They're not even really, to me, growing up the way I grew up, they're not even good manipulators. I mean, after the first week or two, I think, of me posting different people on his Facebook page that he should be looking at, like people that were getting arrested for child pornography around there, or that guy that was kidnapped that little boy, and especially when it came to Jackie Dobbs, and I posted that, and I was like hitting him on Messenger, like, dude, look at this dude, man. This dude had to do it. I mean, look, he could see her from his land. Like I didn't even know he was the one that sold him that land at the time, but I was like, this is actually on your land, right where he was at. I mean, and he had a dog, and Summer likes dogs, and the neighbor said that he could even have heard the kids play. He had to because they can hear them too. I was all about Jackie Dobbs, and he was not having no part of it, and I could not figure it out. I was like, how in the world why he won't talk to me about Jackie Dobbs? It doesn't make any sense. And then he outed himself. He was like, yeah, I sold 2 acres of land. Oh, back to that. What was my question? Okay. So I know that it was a cash sale. And I know it was a cash sale on June the 7th. So my question is, if he paid on June 7th, and then they send off the deed, all the deeds are signed, paperwork goes off, right? I'm a notary, so I know how that works. You pay your closing costs. And when you don't pay cash now, it takes a couple of days for it to clear. And then when you're buying a house, they hold some in escrow in case there's something wrong with the house. Then they'll take some out of escrow. But see, this is just a land deal, so you don't need escrow. So how fast would it be that Don would have gotten the cash? And if Don had already gotten his cash, does that mean he would have already spent the cash? And then when the deed kicked back and it come back and it said, oh, no, this deed's no good. You're not going to be able to sell this land. Does that mean he needed to return the cash and come back up with Jackie Dobbs' cash? Because that's a huge question, you guys. Because if he had to come up with $11,500 that week that Summer went missing, he would have had to do something shady. He didn't have $11,500 if he had got it on the 7th when the land deal went through. I promise you he done spent that. Because they done sold everything around there. I can prove that to you. She was already wearing shoes that didn't match. She was wearing a one boot on one side and a tennis shoe on the other side. They had done sold the swimming pool that they had bought for the kids. They had done sold all the Paw Patrol toys that the kids had. They had had yard sale after yard sale, internet yard sales, on and on and on. They didn't have two nickels to rub together. So if he owed Jackie Dobbs back that $11,500 that he got for the land, then where did he get it from? But if the attorney was still holding the money, then the attorney would have gave back the $11,500. Candace didn't ever have no $96,000. Shoot. She didn't even have 96,000 pennies. Yes, she sold all the Paw Patrol toys on Facebook, and I have pictures of it. They were in boxes. The only thing that those toys that she showed on the interview room, those few little toys, is only because they were singles and that's what was left. She even sold blankets and stuff on the internet. So, if Jackie Dobbs paid for the land on June the 7th, which he did, and he gave it to the lawyer and the deed closer, and all them people had it. So then they notarized the paperwork. They send off for the deed. The deed is supposed to come back to Jackie Dobbs. Usually takes 1 to 2 weeks. So from June the 7th to the day Summer went missing, that's June the 15th. We know that Jackie Dobbs was there up until, the 14th almost, right? The day before. But at some point, right before he took off, probably the 14th, somebody had to. Now, was it the lawyers that still had the money? Or was it Don had to come back up with the $11,500 to give Jackie Dobbs back his money so Jackie Dobbs could leave town? That's my question that I want answered. Because I doubt seriously Don Wells could have returned $11,500. All I want somebody to do is tell me how Don Wells would have had $11,500. Because he sold that land. That was his bad deed. And he had done it 2 times before. Oh, happy birthday, odd one. Yes, I heard the same thing. I heard they went and got new phones. I heard that they went and got a lot of new things. I heard they actually had 2 phones when the police department took their phone. So I don't even think they got the real phones that they were using at the time anyways. But that's proof right there. So if LE would just find out from, go to the realtor because his name is listed on the land deed that did the work, that sold it to Jackie Dobbs. Go to him and ask on that cash deal, did Don Wells ever get the $11,500 that Jackie paid? Did he have to return it, or was you guys still holding it when the deed came back, kicked back? Because I know it kicked back, and it was a bad deed, and he got his money back and got to leave town. I know that part of it. But what the part I don't know is who held the money in between time. I would like to know, because if Don got that money and spent it and had to return it, then that tells me, yeah, Summer very well may be alive and somebody purchased her and he got that money, that $11,500 to pay Jackie Dobbs. But if Don never got a hold of that $11,500, then it's a whole more sad or sinister story with sick old Candace over there. July the 11th doesn't really stick out for me. July the 7th is when he sold the land. About the land, Lady Justice? Yeah, I mean, I really want to know. Do you think they would tell me, like, if I call that realtor and say, when Jackie Dobbs paid for that 2 point whatever acres of land and I knowed it was cash, did you guys hold it till the deed clears? Or who's a realtor that can answer a generic question like that? If I pay cash for a land deal, do you guys hold the cash till the deed comes back clear? or does the person get the cash? The address in Georgia is his Jackie Dobbs's address where he was going to get the deed to come back for the land. And the Morlock farm was the original farm land owner in Kingsport. I think that girl is a ancestor of the Morlock farms, and last I heard she was in jail. None of those names should have been on that deed. And in fact, you can't split off that 2.2 acres of that part of the deed of that farm. Anyways, it's a long story. I don't even know why he tried to do it that way. It's stupid that he tried to do that. Huh?
Sorry to interrupt. Is there any corn dogs in there?
Yeah, in the freezer. Not that I cooked, but in the freezer.
Well, I mean, you cooked them the other day.
In the
Was there
microwave.
something in there?
Yeah. In the very top, I think. Top shelf. Oh, yeah. Me too with the YouTubers that just won't hear the truth. But that's me. It doesn't matter what I do here, that I'll have the least amount of subs probably forever. And if I go to another room and I try to say something, I'm going to get blocked. And I'm going to get put in timeout. So I will just sit over here and I go in there and I'll just say, hey, what are y'all doing? And come back over here and sit and act like I don't know the truth. And yeah, like, and that's another thing. Imagine summer, like, as if they planted flowers. No, they didn't, because there's weeds in there, and those rocks weren't even dirty, so we know nothing got done in that flower bed. But can you imagine Summer, who loves outside? Like, she was really gonna go inside and be like, I want to run inside and play in the dungeon. Like, yeah, that's exactly what she did. I don't even know where they came up with a stupid story. I mean, they must have been in a complete panic to come up with this story. That's why I think, I mean, whatever happened, it like must have happened in a fit of rage, because even the dent in the milk jug just shows me she was in a complete rage or panic. And taking that photo in the car, it was like right now, like everything had to be right now. And the only thing that appeared to be like pre-planned or something is put her school outfit in grandma's truck before you left. I mean, you dressed her in an outfit to go swimming and you didn't take the boys with you. And all of that, now that appears like you were already planning on doing something stupid to me. But then the rest of it looks like she panicked either afterwards. Maybe she didn't realize it would either be that hard, or she got emotional afterwards. But the rest of what she did just looked like she did it in a complete panic. Like, I don't know what to do now. Like, I really screwed up. But the whole first part of it looks like it was all pre planned. Like, from the moment she got up that morning, she knew what she was going to do. Yeah, I don't know no mama in the world that's going to stack two milk jugs up together and ride around the hills of Tennessee and expect them not to be in your floorboards spilled all over your car. And any child that falls asleep on a milk jug's not going to put a big old dent in the side of it when they do. Nor, and also she's defined the laws of gravity to be relaxed at that angle. We've went over that too. And even if it was from March, there's no way you could be passed out on those milk jugs holding that angle if you're asleep. Your body just would not be able to do that. There is some form of stiffness in her body. She is not relaxed. Her neck would not be able to hold that angle. It's impossible. Not even improbable, it's impossible. So, and then the lie about, well, she had both hands behind her head. Well, one's wedged in between the milk jug and her body, so that's impossible. And I've got to have this picture right now, and it goes to Don. Don has the original and puts it on Facebook the other day. I mean, how dare he? Because he's the one. Ellie didn't have nothing on our phones because they were all three deleted. Oh, really? But the picture was taken after 3 o'clock that day, and you said after 3 o'clock all three phones were deleted, but you didn't get home until 5 o'clock, right? So how in the world did you end up with the original picture, the one that none of us even had? None of us had it. We worked off of the same picture. All of us did. We zoomed in on it. We've stared at it 5 million trillion times. And then you post the original photo. Bam, how'd you get it? I agree with you, Helen. Something was up with her lips, too. I agree with that. And underneath that seatbelt, the color in there. I mean, in the beginning, I tried to tell myself, well, she had grape slushy, maybe that's what that is there. But then you see some more spots up around the milk jug area of the same type of coloring. So, and then the fact that Candy's just there like that, it's almost as if she took a blunt force hit right there in the back seat. And like, how you straight arm it if you pass out or you get hit or knocked out immediately, your arms kind of stiffen up and you just, like, when you're knocked out. It's like the candy flew out of her hand and her head hits the milk jug and she's out. And then she's just like, take the picture. I mean, it's what it seemed like to me because she is literally, her arm is trapped right there. She's not sitting against the door, but yet she's not against the milk. The candy's in the seat where we know Hunter was sitting, and surely he was not sitting on top of the candy. We know she wasn't asleep when she left their house, but all of a sudden now she's knocked out cold, and the milk's cold, so it's very unlikely she'd be sitting there asleep. You've wrapped a seatbelt around her, and it's not even connected at the waist over there by the door. There's a million things we could sit there and tell us that there is something wrong here, and there is no way. Yeah, we're gonna recreate that with our son, but it's impossible to recreate what went on there. But we'll recreate it to show you it can't happen. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do with Ryder. He already knows. We got him showing you that it has to, how he has to do it. I'm just not gonna make it traumatic for him. We're just making it a joke for him. So I showed him the picture and I just showed him that this is a friend of ours and this is what I want you to play like you're doing, pass out and act like you're asleep. So we're just giving him some days to play with him. Yeah, we got the milk jugs ready. We told him what we were doing. He don't know nothing about the story or what's really there or nothing though. So anyway, yeah, it's just a process. Yeah, I mean, I have those opinions too. The only thing that bothers me, and I don't trust kids with dates though, is the Hunter part of that. You know, the Hunter saying that he was there that day and at the park and all. You know, if I could cross him off the equation and say no, he wasn't nowhere around Summer that day, then I could do that. But David spelled shake, S-A-K-E, my milk sake.
It says all girls.
That almost looked like sake.
And it says all girls too.
And if Hunter's lying though, but I mean, why would he just lie and say I seen Summer that day, and then he would have to be lying about the TikTok, and he'd have to be lying about the Mike's Hard Lemonade, and he'd have to be lying about the stupid stuff like them buying the vape and all the things that happen afterwards, and none of that. And I mean, it looks like by now, seeing the TBIs and going downtown to Hawkins County and them keeping his phone and all that, it'd be enough for him to just say, no, that day I wasn't even with him, or whatever. I mean, he really wouldn't have a reason to lie about all those little things, you know what I mean? That's the only thing that bothers me, is the extra stuff he said. I mean, what would he get out of it, though, by lying? I mean, heck, it kind of looked like he wanted to be Candace's boyfriend, or Candace had him feeling like he wanted to be his boyfriend, so he probably would have protected her instead of some of the things he said. And at one time, he kind of did protect her, but then again, he crossed her up a few times, so. I just know one thing from who was in that car when that picture was taken, and that's Grandis, and I know that she's the key to a lot of things. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think one of the big things with him, though, is he knows he did a lot of stuff that at his age he should not be doing. And I think his mind goes back to, I wonder how much of this I'm going to get in trouble for, too. You know, because he is still a kid and he knows he's not supposed to be drinking and vaping. And they do sell cannabis vapes, although it's illegal up there. And he had them. And I think a lot of stuff he thought he was going to get in trouble for. And who knows what him and Candace did. But I don't know that he would say he's seen her that day alive and not, because I go back to looking at their pictures, earlier pictures, and them hanging out and stuff, and it did kind of seem like they had like a sister brother type of relationship, and True too, his other sister True. So, and it is very complicated. But if that was the case that she was missing on another day, then why that day did they call 911? And why that day would she post the picture of the TikTok and all that day? I mean, I know why she was pulling in pictures from previous days and putting them on her Facebook, because she was in trouble with DSS, and she was trying to look like they still had good clothes and they still had, money and everything. Wells like royalty up there. There ain't no Wells up there.
You spent all my money?
Yes. I did.
I just said load that.
There must be some wells somewhere up there, though. There is it used to be a well cemetery in another county over there. He probably does do something with Don that's illegal. Everything Don's into is illegal. But Don ain't good enough yet for that boy to lie for. I mean, Candace ain't either, I don't think. If he ain't getting something out of it. I mean, he'd have to be getting something out of it in order to lie for him. Yeah, well, I mean, the story really never got straight, because even to this day, the more he tells the story, it slowly morphs a little bit. But I only heard Hunter tell the story twice, I think, about what happened that day. And the only thing he really changed on was whether or not she went under the water or not. And with that picture of them coming home, I mean, we know she left Warriors. I mean, we're pretty positive she left Warriors, but we're also pretty positive she never came back onto Ben Hill. Wrestling champ Candace. Oh, I swear if I ever need to laugh, I'm going to call Helen. It's true. Well, I'm going to send out a bolo and let everybody know Karen's not Don's mom, y'all. What are we going to do now? Attention, Don Wells. We want to know who your mom is, boy. Now that we know you're from Kentucky, I think I found her. I just love, don't worry, you ain't going to miss nothing, because I got to get off here too. But, alright, so next y'all want to know Don's early life, his juvenile life, and his daddy's life, right? His daddy's early life, what his daddy was up to. Patricia Wales. What'd she call herself here? Hang on. Y'all don't confuse me now. Y'all gonna have me telling.
You see what Don told me today?
I have to write stuff down, keep these people straight. Y'all don't try to mess me up. I know her damn name's not Karen. I stick to that one. I know I'm always right, huh?
See what Don told me today?
What Don tell you?
He's gonna change his name again.
Oh
Shady
God,
Grady.
don't Shady Grady. Lord, somebody don't let him change his name again. I can't handle it. I'm running out of ink. And they're running out of names. I am fresh out of the ink. And he is fresh out of the names. Alright, here we go. This is the names we were going with when Don was living in Kentucky as a child. Alright, when Don was living in Kentucky as a child, his stepfather's name was Terry Lee Gabhart, Gabhart, date of birth 5/22/57. His mama was going by the name Patsy Ann Wells. She is still 77 years old and alive and kicking. They lived in Kentucky, and what was their address? Oh, there's also a picture of him out there. He don't look mean to me, but maybe he was. I don't know. I can't judge a book box cover. But he don't got like a big arrest history or nothing. I don't see like he was mean. What part of Kentucky they live in? Don't hold me to this man's name because I ain't researched him that much. But I'm almost positive you let that slip. That was my little 1 hour worth of research. Done got you pegged. Dawn, just stop talking while you're drunk. He talked to me while he was drunk. I'd know all about him. Because I'm about finding out some stuff. Tell me something drunk. I'm coming for you. But Pam Wells, now she has used the names Lint Wells Riley. She can run me out of ink too before I get done with her. That's another one. And Donna's in the church, boy, ain't he something? Up in the church. Donda's has been in the church. Oh my Lord, where's that man's papers at? I'm gonna need some more notes. Can somebody send me some notebooks?
That was called Post Don Swells. The turd.
The turd. It's Bishop Don Swells the third. Bishop Don Swells the third.
Oh my God.
Thank you. Amen and amen. I'm gonna go back to church. Baby, tell him to get me a GoFundMe on that Jody Sue $500 tab. I need some notebooks. Notebooks.
Yeah, they didn't put the notebooks out there. Did you see them?
Jody Sue.
Yep.
Benny's bringing you some notebooks with that $500 gift card I sent with him. Make sure you put me some notebooks out there with it. I'm running out of paper. Where is that man's papers at? Lord, did everybody see their wedding certificate? Ask them, did everybody see their wedding certificate papers? Did everybody see their wedding stuff where I put it up? This is out here in my face. There's Pam and Dondas.
Just love, sister.
Dondas did this. Here's Pam and Dondas getting married. January 1988. Pam and Dondas. Pam was a non-shaver. Oh, okay. Well, whoever didn't, here it is. Pamela and Dondas and the shavers. A scrap of old notebook. I only got a scrap left now. I'm trying to get a real notebook. Somebody tell Jody Sue. She's a non-shaver. Nope, no divorce. This is merge. January 20th, 1998. All right, hang on. I got to get this man's stuff. His stepdad. Hang on.
Yes, you did, John Deere.
Oh. Oh, this is Pamela's house. Is this Pamdas's warrants? I gotta call Pamdas now. Pamdas is in it to win it too. His name is Duke. Pleasureville, Kentucky. That's where this man lives. Where's Pleasureville, Kentucky. I'm gonna start using fronts and backs.
Man, that's a good name. Good one, Kiki.
Pam just did this too. And Don just did this.
I can't spell it, but I mean, think about it. They are polygamous, or he is. You know what I'm saying?
I think his daddy is too, because both wives are still alive. He's probably never divorced either. Oh. His stepdaddy. Oh, one reason why I think that we're right about the stepdaddy. I don't know which way y'all like to look at this stuff. Landscaped or the other way. What's better, y'all? Landscaped or like this? I show y'all something. Pamdas, Mandas, and Dondas. It's Grandis, Pamdas, and Dondas. But anyway, I was looking at this guy's stuff, and one reason I think that I'm right is because it says that he is the president of Pleasureville Christian Church Incorporated, which, when I looked that up, was an LDA church, LDS church. Okay, good. So I think that that's why, one reason that I think that I'm right. Not to mention the fact that he was married to a Wells back then and had a younger named Don, which in the 70s that lived with him, so a Donald L. Wells. And then a 75-year-old Don Wells also comes up in his history. You know, all that together makes you think you got the right one. When little Don, our Don, was there, they lived in Georgetown, Kentucky.
Really? Wow.
And Pam Wells then used this name, Patsy Ann Wells. No, maybe. I don't know. I seem to think that's probably Don's mom, though. Because Pam's not 77. But anyway, this is the stepdad. We're going with 90% sure on this one. But like I said, I had it like an hour before I went live. But I'd say with the church, with the location, with all their names coming up, yep, I'd say we got him. Summer's birth certificate. Well, nope, not yet. Not yet. I was actually going to get her birth certificate by doing a grandparent's request. So that's one reason I am on this never-ending battle right now with paperwork, you guys. But anyways, that's a story for another day. Not just anybody can go get anybody's social security number. Birth certificate. Yeah, I caught something about that, Lady Justice. I wasn't sure what he was trying to say, though. He was saying something about she wasn't born in the hospital, but then she had to get a cesarean section because she was breached. The way I heard him say it. So I got confused, too. Because at first, yeah, you're right. He was saying she wasn't at a hospital. But then turned around and saying she had to be taken. I don't know if he was trying to say a birth center or somewhere because she needed a C-section because she was breached. But yeah, I heard the same thing. He was talking word salad. He did say Tennessee though, but yeah, he was talking word salad. He wasn't wanting us to know. It was obvious that he was hiding something when he was saying that. So if I could find a proper grandparent that's alive, and I know they are alive, I figure I can go through them and we can go through the Tennessee court and do a grandparent's request and get her paperwork. Wherever it is, the state will track it down and make them give it to us. Summer may look like Dawn, but that baby that I see a picture of, the infant, resembles nothing Dawn, or it doesn't. The baby doesn't resemble Summer to me. I'm sorry, that's just how I feel. I just don't see any resemblance in those baby pictures and what I look at now and think of Summer. So
Did they hear anything about lice? That's why they cut the hair. Did they hear that, or somebody told me that?
but if it was lice, why would you start it out just shaving the back and coloring it? I mean, that don't make no sense. I think they're setting a statement for, like they said, that Klan shit they got going on. Well, Karen, that's another thing. With that LDS people getting involved in the school system there, they say they're on the board and all that. That's one big thing that they advocate for. Now, we can call and ask, and I'll do that tomorrow if y'all want me to. But I know here, even in North Carolina, they're trying to get involved in our system. And that's one of the two things they don't want our kids to have anymore. They don't want us asking for the school system to ask for a birth certificate, and they don't want them to be able to ask for shot records anymore. So, yeah, I agree. Especially her nail beds on her right hand looked like they were blue too. There you go, odd one. That's the way to get out of there.
I don't blame him, MacB.
Was it the baby pictures, Justice for Kids? The ones there when she's laying on her stomach inside inside of a, looks like a hospital room or a birthing center. There's just not all the equipment there we're used to seeing. Yeah, not here in North Carolina either. I mean, we've always had to bring birth certificates, shot records, and everything. But they're trying to get that stopped. There's a thing on my page, if you go look at it, read it, and then if you go over to Straight Out of Utah, our other page where we're putting the stuff the LDS Church wants done, you'll see a memo from them where they're in the school system and all. And that's what they want. They want no birth certificates, no shot records and stuff like that.
Just for Kid, can you send me some in the email?
Oh, you got different ones than I got? Yeah, I'd love to see it. Or put a link in here. Everybody can look at them.
Oh, yeah, you can do that.
If you want a link in here, everybody can go to your page and watch them and look at them. I'm not monetized, so believe me, and I don't mind anybody puts links in here to your page. I didn't know you had a page. I'll subscribe. Feel free.
You right, Helen. Feeling.
Grandma Butterfly, I don't think so either. And especially with that kind of money floating around there in Hawkins County right now, coming from that church, it seems like that it's a big thing to do with the voting fixing to go on. You know, they've got millions floating around in that church, and nobody wants to rock the vote, you know. Thank you, Georgia Peach. We appreciate it. Hey, we love all you guys. If it's about summer, I'm about it. All right, everybody go look. I'm going to shut up.
Tell me what you said, too. See you, Joanne. Joanne said bye. She's leaving.
Bye, Joanne. Trisha, you're right. It sure does stink. Aw, Georgia Peach. That's sad. I didn't get to see it yet. I'll have to watch when I go off, because if I log off, I'm be gone. It'll slap me right on out of here. Well, it looks like everything's just a big fat lie. I mean, every time I dig into another one of their stories, everything's a lie. And I mean, you can't lie your way around paperwork. I mean, and it really pisses me off when it's the same, one person that comes on my channel to troll me that's been doing it ever since Rose Bly's been missing. I just want to say to her, what in the hell are you covering up, and who are you really? And she says that Lisa Rich or whatever is her real name. It's not her real name because people have forever told me that they think that's Jeannie,
Bye,
Candace's sister,
Mary.
Jeannie. Bye, Mary. I won't be on here either because I'm fixing to get off and I'll be back on tomorrow. That Wicca news channel, whatever. Yeah, I seen that. I mean, I don't have that gift they have over there. I can't see some of those things they see, but I did see on those boards kind of look like faces or whatever. That was crazy. I mean, I don't know what to think about that kind of stuff. That's out of my league on that, but my brain's so analytical. It's hard for me to understand a lot of things. But do I believe it's there? Well, if you believe in one thing, you can't not believe in the other. So I mean, I believe in angels. I believe in demons. I believe in all that. So I believe in gifts, and I believe God gives them out. So I don't not believe, that's for sure. Hey, Ice Princess. Yeah, we're here. We was digging it all up. We've dug up the real stepfather and mom out of Kentucky, and we dug up all the good stuff. Don and the Dondas and Pam's wedding information from 1988 in Florida. Their domestic violence and restraining orders and lengthy criminal records. And, oh, Dondas was a bishop at the LDS church right out of the prison in the 90s. We dug up good stuff today. We did a lot of research. So we're still just making sure everybody's clear on Karen was never a Wells, too, and she didn't give them that land on Ben Hill Drive. I'm preaching about that again. So people can try to understand that what's on paper sometimes is not how things are. For appearance purposes, people put things on paper because you have to at least make it look like when you're going to give somebody a loan or you're going to sell somebody a house or you're going to do a mortgage, you have to make it look like on paper that you're doing things correctly. So for appearances, you're going to have to make it look like they've had some kind of background and jobs and references and people in their lives. So you move them around the way you want to move them around. You make them bump into each other in different places that they probably never bumped into each other, but it's for appearances. So it's a nightmare. No, Grandis isn't a bishop. On Don's side, Don was a bishop over a church, an LDS church for a while. Grandma, me and you's going out the back door of the church, I'm sure. Absolutely not. His stepfather, it looks like he's a president of a church right now. President of Pleasureville Christian Church Incorporated. Right now. His stepdad is. So the church is deep in the LDS. But as far as fake names, his entire family, his father, his mother, everybody, Pam especially, has used many, many false identities over the years. I'm not just saying aliases, because usually an alias, you keep your same social and birth date, but they don't even do that. And the story of Don not knowing what last name to write as a child, that is true. He didn't know because he stayed confused. Yeah, Trisha, I wish. I wished I knew the truth. I really wished I knew, when he bought that land, I think if I knew the truth on did Don get that $11,500 and have to return it, I feel like that would answer the question in my heart if she was alive or not. Because if he never touched that money and was not able to spend it, then I think that was fine. He got his money back and he went on about his business. But I feel like if he was able to spend that money, then Don would have done something else with Summer to get that $11,000 back. And that's a fear that I have.
No, but they in two different counties.
Yeah, they're in two different counties and they're never going to go back. I know that. You know, sometimes when you're raised in an environment, you really just don't know it's bad until you get out of it. Hey, there you go, Just Love. Look at Just Love. She'll work it. Are they out of Florida, Just Love? See, she's a step ahead of me tonight. Just Love could do some homework too, y'all. What detective? I wouldn't doubt it. There is no detective up there working that's on our side. Maybe we could hire one. Does anybody know a good detective? Well, me.
What was you gonna give that guy's name out TV out today? Cause you asked me about it.
I sent him something at TV.
No, was you gonna give them the name you talked
No,
to?
I just sent him something. I said, oh, Texas. She was born in Texas. So, all right, cool. There you go. There's Pam's original name, Shavers. I think it's spelled Chavers. Yeah, Shavers. Wise, Texas. Good job, Just Love. Oh yeah, we're on to them now. They can't fart and we don't know it. It's on and popping. Well, I don't know, Just Love. Now that date right there can't be when they got married, because that'd be she was born before that, wasn't she? She's old. Oh, that church.
You know how they go in Texas, bigger's better.
Oh, that church. All these LDS churches, man. I can't wait to Google image this church that he was. Oh, whose birthday is that?
Oh my God.
Her original birthday? Yeah, 'cause she uses a bunch of different
Trish,
birthdays.
come on now.
I can't wait to Google this church he was the bishop at and see what it looks like. I got the address for it. It's gonna be like 200 square foot.
Just for the kids. Did you
Oh,
see
did
that
you?
thing?
The property info for the church. It's gonna be good.
Did she see the Justice for the Kids? See that link they put up earlier
Look,
about
look for the property info Carol just sent for the church info. This should be good.
what now?
The property info for the church he was the bishop at.
Oh, the property value.
I just want to see the property info on it. Print
Oh,
it.
the property info.
Yeah, Carol said she just emailed you.
Oh, okay.
Print it out. Yep, February 19th, 2016.
Let me just look.
Maybe you could find the birth certificate. If we find the proper dad's name, we might could get it. Or even the grandparents' name, which we think we're getting there, but it's not been the grandparents' names we've been told, that's for sure.
Yeah, this up, man.
He's got his new channel back now too, Grandma Butterfly. I ain't had time to even look at that fool over there. He makes me so mad. I can't even deal with him. Jesus, take the wheel when it comes to him. He just needs to go pick up some of the cases he's messed up before. Ooh, I tell y'all what, Carol right there. Now, Carol does some work. Carol's the one sent me this, y'all. She can dig some stuff up too now. I think there's some really good more dirt on Dondas in Florida, you guys, between the years of 88 and... No, prior to 88. Well, prior to 1999 that it hadn't come out yet. What is homework? Homework is still, truly, wherever you are, finding out what year, make, and model those trucks are. Those 3 trucks that were already in Rogersville when Dondas arrived on the property, so we could try to figure out who was actually on that property before he got there. Um, Shannon, you want homework? I can assign you some homework too. We got homework for everybody in the room. Trisha, I believe that maybe it's just so different. So different of a picture. Just Love, did you get the homework done for the trucks, or did I gave that to Truly? So, because the trucks that were already on the property. Just Love, do you think you can do any research for a mobile home that was on the property? What we talked about, why the property value dropped from $23,000 to $6,000 to 2001. Something had to happen to it because the property value in 97 was 23,000, and then in 2001 it dropped to $6,500. But both were saying it was a 2001 trailer, 780 square foot mobile home sitting there.
I might have some breaking news.
David says he might have breaking news, y'all. He's printing something too. Yeah, it is a huge drop. So I think the trailer might have burned down, and there was a Beach Creek Fire Department there, but I don't know what they did with their records. So maybe that Church Hill Fire Department that everybody sends a rescue, that everybody sends money to. Oh, okay, good. I got some. Okay, then just see if we can check with Church Hill Rescue Squad for any records on Ben Hill Road for a trailer, a 2001 trailer that was there, 780 square foot, that possibly burnt down and is no longer there. That's what we will want information for. Shannon, what we will want information for is when he sold the 2.5 acres, the address was 110 Ben Hill Lane. It was on Zillow and it was listed with a real estate agent there. We want to find out if a cash sale that was being held, would they have held it, the money, or would the seller have gotten the money? Because when the deed was set off, it was rejected by the Register of Deeds. So the purchaser would have gotten his money back the day before. Probably Summer went missing because that's when he took off and went out of town. So we want to know, was the attorney or the realtor holding the $11,500, or did the seller of the land usually get the money in their hand and have to give it back once the deed is sent off to be cleared?
What was that woman's name?
Carol?
Uh,
Did you understand that, Shannon? You want me to repeat the
who
question?
was his mama's name?
Whose mama's name? Dawn's?
Yeah.
Patsy? Or Pamela?
Okay.
Yeah, maybe she will know whether or not on a cash land deal, how fast is it that the seller gets the money. Because we know the deed didn't clear and the sale had to be reversed. Well, when I Google 110 Ben Hill Lane, the sale for the 2 point something acres comes up too. So yeah, if you don't see it, you can use it that way too. And there's 40 pictures of the land there, and you can see what he bought, and it shows sold and all. But just I done went through all that downtown with the deeds office. My question is just like, who got the cash and how fast did he get it? Because if Don got the cash, I want to know, if he ever got the cash, he spent it in that 2 weeks, and he would have had to give that man his money back. And then that's going to really concern me.
What was his mama's name?
Who's
Don's.
Pamela Nadine Wells or it's not Karen Goad.
Okay.
What are you looking for over there?
Well, I mean, I got a picture of her tombstone.
Karen Goad?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I got a picture of her tombstone too, but that's not his mama.
Okay.
Somebody sent you that?
Well,
Well, we all know that's not his mother. Okay, everybody, quit sending pictures of Karen Goad's grave. It's not his mom. We all know that's not his mom. We're past that. Oh, justice for the kids. Let's hope and pray, because if we find out that he got the $11,500, there's two things that happen. He didn't have the money, and he told Jackie Dobbs, "Here, you can have my daughter instead." And he has her now, and it's a big fat lie when I called down there and had everybody go check his house. And we need to send in the marshals or something, or he sold her and got the $11,500. If we could find out if he got that money and he spent it, it would be easy to track, like him spending that kind of money. Then we could force law enforcement to figure out where he got that money from, pull bank account records, pull spending records, or whatever. That could put them on the right track of proving, what'd you do with this money? It would show them a lead that you need to come up with this money. Because right now, with all the different names on that deed, they could shrug shoulders and think that it wasn't Don selling the land. When we know he said he did, and we know for a fact he did, and I know who he dealt with. I even know the real estate agent that dealt with it. So, and it being cash, it would be hard to track. But if we know that he would have got that cash, then we can say, we know he got the cash, and we know he had to give the cash back. So you need to go track down this guy and find out, did he pay him back cash or did he give him something else out in return? No, one time I still think Patricia Nadine Wells, and I've often switched with Pamela. Pamela. Yeah, I know. And Mary and them's also said that Pamela Nadine Wells is the stepmama. So I said, fine, then I'll just let y'all say that Pamela Nadine Wells is a stepmama, and I'll just track down the real mama then. I'll go a different way. So now we have this Patsy Wells that was married to, he said his stepdaddy lived in Kentucky, so now we got this one. So how many more Wells are they going to scram around and say? What gets me is, okay, why, if Pamela Nadine Wells is Mary's mama, right? Why doesn't it show she ever had Mary or Jeannie or any of them for her kids? Can somebody tell me that? And why is it Mary and them's names and Jeannie, Bavino and all that? Why ain't their names? None of that's right anymore. And why is that forever changing, and their Google pictures are changing, and their Facebooks are changing? And hell, they come on YouTube now and they've added a new last name. Just don't get me started, right? I can't, even with them right now. I can't go there. I mean, I can tell y'all why they didn't go press them damn charges. They should have went pressed. If y'all want me to get my voice up and lose it for the day. Pamela ain't no ex. She's in there like swimwear. No, there's a Pamela Nadine Wells, too. That's a 77-year-old Pamela Nadine Wells that Mary and them say this is stepmama, but I said it's the mama, but I think they're sister mamas. I don't know. But it says she gave birth to a Don Wells. Well, Mary and them said that's our stepmama. That's his stepmama, meaning their mama. Well, I said, well, why does it only show she had Don Wells and Sonia then? Why doesn't it show she had Mary and Janine and all them other ones then? No, they didn't press charges. Because they're scared of him, dumbass. Because they all use fake identities. And he called him a million times and let him know he was going to press charges too. Like he would, really, though. I mean, what's he going to look like pressing some charges on somebody else that uses stolen identities? Like, they going to let him file a report and he's going to come out without cuffs on. Come on. That's like me going to buy dope and the dope man says, I'm going to turn you in for buying dope. Okay, go ahead. Go down there and press the charges on me for buying the dope from you. Why the hell they let him scare them? That don't make no kind of sense. Let that punk threaten me. I say go ahead. Go ahead, let them press whatever charges they're gonna press on me. I'll go ahead and do my little bit of time for my white collar crimes too. But in the meantime, your ass going up under the jail and you're gonna be raped some more. That's what's gonna happen to you. Dr. Phil's not gonna do nothing for us. Don't y'all know the behavioral panel sitting right there listening to them tape that show before they ever did their analysis, which lasted, all of 30 minutes? No, they waited till they heard what they needed to hear. They got on here and told us that he's telling the truth. Because he's a habitual liar. Everything out of his mouth's a lie. So his baseline's a lie. Cops. That's what Don sounds like saying he's going to call the cops on marrying him. I'm going to tell them about y'all's fake ID and that y'all ain't. So, asshole, call. You still molested me. That's what I'd be saying. And at the end of the day, you still are molesting people, Don. So, that's the way we were raised. Everybody use a fake ID. Everybody scam the system. Everybody steal money. Yep, that's how we were raised. It's your fault when you're a kid. People can understand shit like that. People can't understand sick-ass child abusers like you, Don. Hello. But that's why they didn't. And that's why he went to Utah to visit Daddy and to rub their nose in it. See me? See what I'll do? I got right here. Put your face up in it. Nina, nina, nina. Karen Hazel Everts is not Don's mother. Karen Hazel Everts is only Karen Hazel Everts Goad. She was born in Utah. She was born a twin, and her twin is buried same cemetery where mom and her sisters are all buried, but her dad moved to Tennessee, and he's the only one. He lived there only 5 years, though. He only came toward the end of Karen's life. But Karen married William in Texas. Karen was William's second wife. William had been married before. But Don grew up, his stepfather and mother was in Kentucky. But the reason why it shows that is because he's put her on paper with him, on that deed with him. So they're forever going to be linked now. But in real life, were they ever linked? Did they ever cross paths? No, not in her real life. I traced her real life year by year by year, where she went, where she was at. They were never in the same two places ever. Not in the same city and state. And that's what I had to physically do for all three of them. Just to prove they weren't, because on paper, they're so tied together now because of that deed. But I know who faked that deed. I know who did every bit of it, and I know exactly where it come from. And I could take you on Google Images right to their house the day it was born, the day it was done. And then not too long after that, the same lady did their wedding. Imagine that. What a coinky dink, right? And what a miracle that it was done after Karen was dead already, too. I mean, she had been dead for like 2 years. And Don didn't even come there. Don didn't even come while Karen was alive to Tennessee. Not even to the state. I mean, you would at least come visit the state, like if Karen would have been your mom, you would have thought. But he didn't. He didn't even come to the state. So it's not that I haven't been through this a million times with 100 different people and looked everywhere and anywhere. It's simply a lie, you guys. And I understand that it's hard to believe that because you see that on a piece of paper. But you have to put yourself in the frame of mind that what you see on paper is simply that. It's on paper. It's not a real person. It's not that person moving from house to house. It is something that was written on a piece of paper for appearances. What? Candace cried. You're lying. When? Somebody's lying. Candace cried one time, and it was because she said, I know where my husband was, because somebody said he wasn't at work. I heard her cry one time. I made a video out of it. I was so shocked. I know where my husband was. He was at work. Somebody said he wasn't at work. She flipped out. I can't click it, though, because it'll close the whole chat room down. I'll have to make David do it so I can watch it. She did. She half cried on the interview room because somebody said, was Dawn off of work at 3 o'clock hours? She went to cry. She said, I know where my husband was. He was at work. I will. I have to watch that. She really cried on the Dr. Phil thing, though, y'all. Don just is buried all over the place. He committed a little bigotry on paper, but it won't. I mean, I don't know if you can get in trouble for it because they signed the lady's name in Utah, and I guess that's legal in Utah, but he did it in Arkansas, so technically that's a felony, right? I mean, because felony, that's not legal. I mean, in Arkansas, that's not legal. But they forged that Claudia Trent lady's name from Arkansas. So they're acting like they did it in Arkansas, but the house they're in is in Arkansas, and I can prove that. And the lady that's doing it, using the lady's name in Arkansas, and using the lady's name in Utah, she's in Arkansas. She's a felony forger, though, so it's still a felony, yeah, because they were in Arkansas doing it by a lady in Arkansas, using a lady's name in Utah, acting like they were getting married in Utah. Yeah, technically, it's all still felonies, yeah. Yep. Prayer card was on here yesterday. Did y'all see her? Interview with Dusty. Oh, I'm going to have to get off here now. Ziggy's fixing to go somewhere. Do something, y'all. I'm going to lose all my peoples anyways. And my battery's going dead. Alright, guys. I love y'all. Let's go. Everybody check out Ziggy. And I'm probably going to go to bed anyway. So I got homework. Everybody's got homework. So I'll see y'all tomorrow about 6 o'clock again. Loves and kisses, y'all. Bye.